And this is also coming off of the back of the reality that Kamala Harris raised, what, $1.5 billion and went $20 million in debt, yet you couldn't pay your staffers. And voters that worked with the Harris campaign who revealed frantic staff members in Philadelphia, Detroit, and North Carolina calling him in the final weeks of the race to say that they did not have enough money to provide food or water to the volunteers. Where's the money? What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. And most importantly, please make sure you follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And you may notice that I have a huge smile on my face. You say, TD, why are you smiling like that? Why do you have such a sinister looking, senile, almost grin on your face? Well, I'll tell you and I'll show you why. Here's why. Oh, say it isn't so, Kamala Harris. Say it isn't so. If you thought Harris news was done, it's not. Black Harris staffers say they were mistreated on the campaign, blame leadership for taking base for granted. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised that the Indian biracial woman who was pretending to be Black, her staffers that happen to be Black, were apparently mistreated on the campaign? This is not shocking to me at all. And especially coming off of the back, or I should say the news that came out, what was it? A month ago now at this point, or maybe 3 weeks ago now at this point, where DNC staffers were abruptly laid off post-election without pay. Just abruptly, not a 2 weeks notice, not a 1 week notice, not a 5-day notice, just laid off instantly with zero pay, to which the DNC union had to launch a GoFundMe to assist those who were laid off abruptly after Harris got washed in the bloodbath, which was a 2024 presidential election. And this is also coming off of the back of the reality that Kamala Harris raised, what, $1.5 billion and went $20 million in debt, yet you couldn't pay your staffers. So much so to the degree that they were abruptly laid off and they had to start a GoFundMe. And now we get the news that Black Harris staffers were mistreated. This is rich. This is rich. Let's get into this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into this article here to find out what's really going on. Black Harris staffers are accusing the campaign leadership of mistreatment and outright racial discrimination in a damning new article outlining numerous allegations against the now defunct campaign. The New York Times published a story Sunday titled, "How Alarmed Harris Staffers Went Rogue to Reach Black and Latino Voters." The story details a clandestine operation by some campaign staffers who ignored directives from the top and took matters into their own hands after feeling frustrated by the campaign's lack of sufficient effort to reach voters of color in Philadelphia. Many staff members felt that Philadelphia's racial diverse neighborhoods were ignored, the New York Times story read, adding the Black campaign staff members and political operatives and campaign leadership dismissed concerns that Democrats were taking their base for granted. I mean, I guess I get why they were dismissing it, because if you're looking at how Black folks historically vote in each presidential election, as the saying goes, why buy the cow when the milk is free? You're just going to give the Democrats the vote anyway, so we're not going to pay attention to anything that you're talking about. But I digress. As the election drew closer, the frustration with campaign leadership on the issue reached a boiling point, according to more than 30 staffers interviewed by the Times. After Miss Harris lost, Black campaign employees set up a call to talk about career opportunities with Angela Rye, a political strategist and podcast host. The discussion quickly shifted and they shared their anger at how the campaign had treated them and how underfunded and haphazard their field operations had been in several battleground states, according to a recording of the call obtained by the Times. The article reads, can we read that sentence one more time? Because as stated earlier, and as we all know, $1.5 billion was raised and they went $20 million in the red just to get obliterated by Trump. But we're seeing here that the staffers were underpaid and underfunded. Let's get into that one more time. I want to read that last sentence. The discussion quickly shifted as they shared their anger at how the campaign had treated them and how underfunded and haphazard their field operations had been in several battleground states, according to a recording of the call obtained by the Times. Where'd the money go? Can somebody please explain to me, where did all of Kamala Harris's money go when she's underfunding these staffers in battleground states? She's not even providing them with the funds needed to do their job. Where did the money go? That is the question. Some staffers were also reportedly peeved that the campaign did not hire enough people of color or contract with consulting firms that had Black or Latino owners. Look at how all of this stuff is coming around full circle to bite the Harris campaign in the butt. They love to talk so much about equity this and equality that, and everything is about race and so on and so forth. And now it's all coming back to bite you, because look who isn't as inclusive as we all thought that she was. Find that very interesting. The Times story cites staff members who allege that many campaign offices in Philadelphia were filthy and lacked basic supplies like tables, chairs, cleaning products, and printers. Oh my God, where did the money go? That's what we all, as I'm reading this, we have to keep in mind, where's the money? Some campaign offices targeting predominantly Black communities were moved to upscale areas far from the areas they were assigned to serve, according to the Times. Interesting. The Harris campaign reportedly commissioned an internal survey which concluded that Black staff members were frustrated with campaign leaders and felt that their ideas were ignored at a rate higher than their peers, according to the Times. This is rich. Some complain of outright racial discrimination by the Kamala Harris campaign. The campaign's leadership was made aware of the survey's results, the article says. Staffers were reportedly afraid to leak these allegations to the press for fear of ruining future job prospects. The Times cited an all-staff call for the election hosted by Quentin Folks, the principal deputy campaign manager, who allegedly told staffers that talking to the media would hurt their careers. You better be quiet. Whew. The Harris campaign told their Black staffers, you better hush your mouth. You better watch your mouth and hush your mouth if you ever want to work in DC again. Unbelievable. Harris campaign spokeswoman Lauren Hitt reportedly denied that folks had used that language or tone on the call. Of course she did. And said that he had instead counseled staff members against saying something in a moment of anger that could come out to hurt themselves or the vice president. It sounds like the same thing that the staffer said. It really sounds like the same thing. You didn't do a good job cleaning that one up. The article features Quentin James, founder of the Collective PAC, a group that focuses on Black elected officials and voters that worked with the Harris campaign, who revealed frantic staff members in Philadelphia, Detroit, and North Carolina calling him in the final weeks of the race to say that they did not have enough money to provide food or water to the volunteers. Where's the money? Where did the money go? Still, Harris campaign leaders seemed in denial of the situation in Philadelphia, the Times wrote. Late on election night, Jean O'Malley Dillon, the campaign chair, wrote an all staff email saying that the Harris campaign had overperformed turnout expectations there, especially in areas with non white voters. I'm having fun, but it was Trump who overperformed with key demographics in Philadelphia, improving his numbers. Fox News is so petty for this. Fox is extremely petty for flipping that up the way that they did. Let me start over again. But it was Trump who overperformed with key demographics in Pennsylvania, improving his numbers in predominantly Black and Latino areas, which helped him win the critical battleground state and ultimately the presidency on election night. Once again, in a bloodbath. It was a bloodbath. Harris, by contrast, netted more than 30,000 less votes in Philadelphia than President Biden in 2020. Some Democratic operatives and campaign staffers still disagree on whether it was voter outreach that fell short with people of color or lack of relatable messaging by the candidate. And I'll just take a moment to answer that question for the Democratic operatives. I'll take a moment to answer that for them. The reason that Kamala Harris lost was because she was just a trash candidate. That's why. She was a trash candidate who was connected to arguably the worst president in American history. And it's also safe to say that Kamala Harris did end up, technically, as far as polling is concerned, wind up being the worst vice president in American history, if we're just going based on polling. And that's why she lost. The house of cards is still falling. My. We have to win with Black women, but not the Black staffers. Not the Black staffers. No, them just shut up and go get your people to vote blue no matter who, like you always do. Just go ahead. Just go do that. Go do that. Anyways, that does it for today's news. I had a little bit more fun than this one than I should have, but it is what it is. Hopefully you guys had a little bit of fun with me. So with all that being said, man, hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video out on your social media platforms. And as always, Telegram. Please follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group to circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. And follow me on Rumble as well. Both the links to my Telegram and Rumble will be in the description box below. Thank you all for your time. And until the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.